huge black.com dick going into the ass of everyone that owns any other crypto. Holy shit, that's bad. Hey everyone, this is John Papa Giorgio of Papa's Basement. We're going to start the show momentarily, just doing the YouTube intro so you guys know what you're watching. If you're sitting around and seeing this at home, it's a live podcast, comedy podcast. We do it live to tape, typically every Tuesday night. I'm joined in studio today by Howard Flood, who's holding his baby.
Is she on the camera? Can I see her?
They can see the baby, yeah.
Sweet. Yeah.
The baby you made with your dick. That's what that baby's from.
Like it came out of my balls, man.
That's so, yeah, man. Like I was really thinking about that on the way into the studio. I was like, he literally made this fucking thing with his dick. Like, just if you phrase it like that, I know it sounds ridiculous, but that is the case. And then we got AJ Tai over here.
You know, we're all dick spawn at the end of the day.
Yeah, like literally your dad just stuck his shit into something, typically your mom, and just blew a load.
Yeah.
And then a baby came out. So we're going to start the show rolling intro music, and then it's the podcast intro. If you want to download the podcast, we're on iTunes, we're on Stitcher, Podbean, pretty much anything. Just go to, look up iTunes, Papa's Basement, go to inpapasbasement.com. You can find us there. And let's get this rolling. We got a baby. 3 men and a baby, literally, in the studio right now.
That should be the name of the episode. 3 men and a baby. Yeah.
It sounds like we're doing some kind of weird porn parody, though. Like,
gross.
Yeah. And
you're terrible.
No, that's your baby. I shouldn't have made that
Dude,
joke.
I was going to show this episode to her in a few years, and now I can't.
Why not? Just clip the beginning.
Great.
Just clip the beginning. You're Jewish now. Your people believe in the clipping. Just clip. Just remove the tip. Like, that's what circumcision is, right? Just chopping the first inch or two off. I'm a doctor. Everyone, this is Papa's Basement. I'm John Papa Giorgio, hence the show's weird name. I picked it in my mid to late 20s and just kind of stuck with it. I'm stuck now, hardcore, right, Howard?
I don't know. You might get a record deal or something, and then boom, they're gonna upgrade you to Papa's Loft. We'll see.
Papa's Penthouse. Yeah. That's when I hit the numbers. Show's website's inpapasbasement.com. Every episode we've ever done is there. All of our social media info, except the Facebook link, doesn't work. If you ever want to take a whack at that, Howard, I'd be very appreciative.
Interesting.
Yeah. You click on it. It goes like facebook.com/facebook.com/Papa's Basement. That's not a working link, but facebook.com/Papa's Basement. That's all good. We've, in addition to Howard Flood over there and Josie Flood, his
She's
daughter.
Totally swinging at the microphone right now.
She's just batting at it like a cat. Oh God, that's. I hope they're okay with that in this.
She can't reach it. She's just like, she has no depth perception. She's just like, where is it? Am I touching it?
Do they not have that at a certain age? I know nothing about kids.
I knew someone whose baby learned to crawl before they had depth perception. So like the mom had to follow this baby around because they had all these like one step off into rooms, and babies will just like fall over a step if they have no depth perception. So you hope to God that they don't learn to crawl before they have it.
God, babies are terrifying. God, I don't know how. I know you've said the upside is the baby will one day pay for everything you need, hopefully.
Well, to your mom's credit, that's how she trained you.
She trained me, but like it hasn't paid off. I mean, I live there and I eat her food and I'll pay the occasional bill for like a clogged toilet. But I did not pan into the lawyer she wanted. So egg on your
you're
face.
Paying rent, so there it is.
I do contribute there. There is that.
It was all a waste.
It really was. Like, I mean, if you really thought either son was, because I think my brother's banking it, but he just doesn't give her anything. He would, I guess, have asked, but I feel she's kind of like trying to tiptoe around that, or it's like, some money would be nice. He's like, yeah, speaking of money, I made this. And then he'll just talk about all the money coming in and not give her any.
That's interesting.
That's what Occupy Wall Street was about, right? 99% just wanting to hear the 1% being like, yeah, man, I summer in Ibiza. It's really great. Would you like to hear anything else about what my money did for me?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm a money cuck.
It's not It's not a boat. It's a yacht.
It's a yacht. Get it right, first of all. I'm going to smack you within an inch of your life now. That's how you know you're classy, when you give someone like a servant beating and you're like, I almost murdered them via just slaps. Like just blows to the
backhands.
face. Yeah,
Repeated.
exactly. It's kind of like Ralphie beating that prostitute, well, the stripper, in front of the Bada Bing.
Yeah.
Like after she revealed she was pregnant with this kid. That was kind of a classy beatdown for a mob guy in some dirty Jersey trash.
Oh man, it's been so long. I actually have always regretted the fact that I didn't go back through The Sopranos and watch the entire thing over again, because it's amazing.
Oh God, that in The Office. Like
Yeah. The Office, I'm lame, so of course I've seen that entire thing like
Human
7
Centipede, that
times
entire
through,
series. Yeah, just ass to mouth, ass to mouth. By the way, this is AJ Ataye on the other mic. AJ,
What's up, man?
good to see you, man. My radio buddy, one of my bestest friends from the JFK days.
Yeah. John was working there when I like just started out. We used to like work together a decent amount.
We had our moments.
Yeah. It was special.
Ships passing in the night. just knowing glances.
Yeah, and then we moved like kind of far away, and John had no interest in coming with.
Yeah.
He planted his flag and said, either you guys stay here or you lose me. And they're like, all right, man, just turn off the lights, bro.
Yeah, just the bow finger. Peace.
Yeah.
No, I've told that story. I was just like, look, you got to guarantee me a job. Like, I'm not traveling to Lanham, Maryland, over an hour from you without some job guarantee. And Chris, I never get his damn last name right. Kynard? Chris Kennard. Right?
Chris Kynard.
Kynard. It is Kynard. Okay. Yeah, Chris Kynard was like, we'll talk after the move. And I was like, all right, that's my answer.
Oh, man.
That's my
I was always
answer.
disappointed in you for that, and for no other reason other than that I was, being selfish. And we were friends, and I was like, man, like that sucks to lose John in the move,
I was the only person I think that actually left in that move.
Yeah.
Like, everyone talked a big game, and they're
a
like,
few people left like relatively soon after that we had gotten there. Like Noodles didn't last there long.
Noodles, these horrible nicknames we had.
Yeah,
Like a frat.
Adam didn't last there
Adam
long.
Krause,
Like
yeah.
right after we got there, Doug wasn't like super long. Doug didn't even come over.
No, Doug had left already.
Doug had left.
Doug,
Yeah.
much like Howard made a baby with his penis, just planted his flag. Doug made a baby with his penis
He
and
did.
went to Texas to be with said
Abruptly.
penis baby.
He
Yeah,
seems very happy though, so that's good for him.
he does. Good
Quick turnaround for him.
Doug Tetra. You mean like he just blew a wad and then was like, oh, I'm gonna be a dad.
Oh my god, yeah. I need to think about like what I eat for dinner for 6 months before I can actually pull the trigger.
Yeah.
That guy like made a baby and had a family.
Yeah.
In like the span of 3 weeks.
No, it's like the manliest thing I've really ever seen anyone do. Like there was no existential angst about it at all. Like if I've had close calls.
I'm gonna make a baby now. I'm gonna have a family.
Yeah,
That's
he
it.
legit
Like,
was just like, oh, I knocked a girl up and like I'm getting married and moving to Texas and that's our bag now. And like didn't bat an eye about it. I've like
I don't know why we're just telling Doug's story now, but I remember when he was getting ready to meet her, they had been like talking online, and I think she was getting
they'd been IM friends for like a decade or some
Yeah.
crap. Like Howard, this could have been my story 5 times over. Like, Howard can tell you story after story of like IM girl that I talked with forever, flew out, had unprotected sex with multiple times, flew back, and then like by the miracle of like, I don't know, having a laptop on my nuts
yeah.
and like irradiating my testicles for the better part of, my childhood. Like, I didn't have this happen to me, but yeah.
Or vetting their comfort level with abortion.
Very much so. Even as an adult, like if a girl was like, oh, I'm like really pro-life, I was like, oh, this is blowjob city. That's it. Like blowjob city. And then like you rub their throat afterward. Like you just gave a cat a pill. Just like, that's it. Swallow it all. Stomach acid,
man.
do your thing. Okay. Check their gums. Like they're smuggling contraband into prison. Just be safe.
Oh man.
Don't want anyone getting creative there.
I know you had a great SAT score, but come on, man, that's a bit much for your sperm. That's a bit of work.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, my sperm ain't worth it. Like the instant my shirt comes off, and they're just like, "Oh, you got orangutan fur and orangutan titties." Like that's what anyone's reaction should be to this chest.
Nah, man, you should consider donating. I mean, it's just like you get to procreate, all the advantages with none of the like having to help raise it. On paper, I think you look pretty good.
I would walk in with lifts First of all, I gotta, because I'm like barely 5'9", and like typically if I go in for a physical, I'm like 5'8.5", but one time a doctor's like 5'9". I'm like,
That's all. That's the only one that matters.
Exactly. The rest are test runs. I was feeling slouchy those days.
And your license says like 5'11".
Oh, of course,
Yeah.
5'11", 9 inches.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could donate, and I'd be very down with that. Except like one time, didn't our buddy John Ilhan say he donated? And I mean, this sounds like the most urban legendy thing ever. But he was like, yeah, if you're donating sperm.
What was his name?
John Ilhan.
Of course. Like this one time, my friend John Ilhan,
the Turk.
Yeah.
Yeah. He claimed that you donated by having like a probe of some sort put in your ass.
That's not how it works.
And then they just kind of like zapped your prostate, and you just immediately went like,
what?
Wow.
That has to be BS, because those would be on the like private market by now.
Yeah.
If they existed. Like just bored, man, like beep, beep, beep. just like prostate beatboxing at home. I mean, and yeah, so I now realize they probably let you whack off in the method of your choosing. No, I should drop a few pounds, and that should be my goal, giving my seed to lesbians and career women. Cause yeah, I don't know how you handle being a dad. It's rough, man. Like, and I'm not, your kid's awesome. Like your kid's really petite and baby looking. And let's be honest, like once they stop being babies, they kind of stink on ice. So it's awesome that like your baby still looks like a baby, like 5 months.
Yeah,
in.
we can still cuss in front of her.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't cuss right now because this is going to be on a regular radio. So
Yeah.
that stinks.
There's going to be a segment though.
I didn't know that, by the way.
So, I mean, you can curse. It's not a huge deal. I hit F8. I chop it out. Okay. It's not the biggest deal. I mean,
you heard that, baby. You can say whatever you want this episode.
Hey, Josie, tell your daddy he's a cunt. There you go.
See you next Tuesday.
Exactly. Yeah, she seems no worse for wear. But I was having this talk with Howard the other day, and AJ, you interject. I don't get the having kids thing. Does not click with me.
That's like the most basic thing that human
yeah.
beings have like ever done. What do you mean that doesn't click with you?
I don't get why someone would want to do that. Like,
well, I mean, I guess I would respond to that with, why wouldn't you want to do that? You know,
I feel kids are a massive loss of freedom.
Mm-hmm.
This is absolutely true. Oh yeah. It's so devastating.
Yeah, like,
we can still go to restaurants. Everybody was like, hey, go to restaurants before she learns to walk, because then you really can't go anymore.
Well, I guess for me, like, my life isn't that exciting. So it's like, you don't get to sit around and watch Netflix when you want anymore. You got to do something for someone else.
But you kind of don't.
No, it's true.
I mean,
I don't know.
When I was younger, I was really into like the whole, like, what are the biological imperatives of man? You know, like trying to live a life close to that. Like, what if you were a caveman? Like, what would you be doing?
To go kill a deer, man.
Yeah, exactly. And so I watched a lot of Flintstones and realized I should like be beating brontosauruses to death and eating their delicious steaks. But with time, you know, and so you come from that frame of thought. And you're like, well, clearly, especially if you don't really believe in much of an afterlife, all you really do of lasting import here is either donate money to other people, like make like a Carnegie Foundation or some crap like that, or you have kids.
You have kids.
And then like through you, your kids live on, and then they have kids and maybe barely live on at that point.
Is that important to you? Do you like care about that? Do you ever think about that?
Well,
excuse me.
I think, what's up?
You could actually leave. This is what I'm saying. Like, because I kind of want to stop at one and just be like, man, maybe I should just write books. Or, you know, why don't you write a screenplay or something? And then that's what you leave to the next generation.
See, I started falling more into that because I was thinking about it. It's like, I don't even know. I can't even legit, I'm not exaggerating, name my dad's parents. Like they, you know, they were back in the old country.
Your grandparents.
My grandparents on my dad's side. Like they had Greek names. I think like my dad's dad perished long before I was on the scene.
Same.
Yeah. And my dad's mom, maybe when I saw me when I was 2 or some crap, or like 1.5.
Yeah.
And like was dead, I think, before my little brother was born.
Yeah. And we're foreigners. I mean, they don't like to talk about like passed away relatives or like, you know, there's not a lot of there's only like sadness when their names are brought up. But there's no
Yeah,
like commemoration.
they never
or
get
anything.
over anything, do they?
No, they'll cry like it was the day after they
It's
died. like,
horrible.
for 10 years.
I hate we
I know,
brown people
yeah.
so much. I'm honorary brown. My dad was brown. That side was very brown.
That's funny. My dad's dad. That it's not funny that this happened to him, but my dad's dad died when he was 9.
What's not funny about that?
It's like for him, like that's he like pretty much he was like a kid. He didn't know his dad, so I obviously never knew my my grandpa on that side. And my grandma died when I was like in 2nd grade. So it's pretty much the same thing. I mean, I have like very early memories of them, but I know their name, like at least. Like I don't know. Like how do you like avoid that? I think I was just so curious as a kid. I could not like want to know things about them.
So you
never
ask questions,
had you ask questions, yeah. Like you never experienced that. You were never like curious about it.
I'm like the irony being like I love history. I was a history major, and yet
yeah, fuck my history.
yeah, I don't like. Okay, thinking about it now,
and I'm not being judgmental, by the way. This is like just interesting.
I know. Okay, so my granddad's first name had to be Kyriakos, because that was my dad's middle name.
Okay.
Oh crap! I was hoping it was Nick, like National Lampoon, Vegas Vacation.
No, Howard. For this day in Papa Giorgio trivia, Nick is the name of my stillborn middle brother.
Oh no!
Oh no!
So there was a Nick Papa Giorgio. Why did I never put that together till now?
Wow.
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
Yeah. No. If Nick had lived, I'd have no will. So I'm glad Nick died. I'm glad my little middle brother died because I like my little brother best. I like him more than Corpse Baby.
I hope Maria's not listening to this episode.
She never listens to anything.
All right.
No.
She used to 10 years ago.
Yeah.
When she thought this was just like a novelty.
Oh, when she thought this was just, going to be how I somehow landed a job in radio, which it was. And then like I was out of radio 3-5 years later, something like that. And
yeah, because you couldn't commit to like working 10 miles away.
Because I knew you got to give me this. Anyone who worked behind the scenes and was not an on-air personality at JFK to this day is still behind the scenes and not an on-air personality.
Yeah, that's true. But
Like,
I mean, that's
Chad was afternoons then. Chad is afternoons now. Junkies mornings then. Mornings now.
If you're, I'll say this: if you're doing radio on your own, like you are right now, you're doing it because you love it. You're doing it because it's a passion thing.
I love it,
and you're willing to sacrifice for that thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like time, effort, money, whatever. I mean, why not just do it at that level? I mean, that's how I always saw it. You're right. Like if you're behind the scenes, you are there.
I don't think it exists at this level anymore. Like, I haven't listened to the station since we left. Okay, that is on the mic.
I did it on purpose.
What did she do? Like punch her tummy?
No.
Hold her up to the mic.
She just started making noise, so I held her right up. Yeah.
I can't see you over the monitor. I'm just picturing that episode where Kramer grabs George by the gut fat and he just starts screaming. Goddamn. But okay, I haven't listened to JFK in forever and a day, but like it's all just sports talk, right? Like I know Chad's show is in theory called Chad Dukes versus the World, but it's just sports, right?
It's just no, he talks about a lot of stuff, man.
Okay, but like it's not what I wanted. You don't get to be Don and Mike anymore. You don't get to be Howard Stern anymore.
No.
It's all gone. So that's why I'm not making babies with my dick.
I see. That's why.
Yeah, getting back to what we were prattling on about. When I was younger, I was like, that is obviously your purpose in life. And then as I got older, I was like, I don't even know the names of everyone who put me here like 2 generations ago. Like beyond that, with a gun to my head, I couldn't even like pluck a first letter of a first name out of the ether. And I'm like, a couple generations removed, how much of your DNA is even in those that came after you? You know, like
probably a lot, right? I would assume.
Well, it's like your kid is half your DNA. Your grandkids are a quarter of your DNA. You do that math. They're pretty much like eighth cousins after a couple generations.
But the flip is the way that they do genetic testing for like, where are your ancestors from? Like they trace it typically to a common ancestor, either through like a male sperm, like the Y chromosome, or like a woman's, basically anyone you can check their mitochondrial DNA to find out like their maternal descent.
Okay.
So there is like someone whose DNA has gone all the way down for centuries, possibly even millennia. Yeah. So that's kind of cool. It's the idea that like, what if that were me? What if I were the common ancestor? Like, there's some Irish dude who was just like banging tons of broads, but like
Irish
1,500
Genghis
years
Khan.
ago.
He's the missing link.
Genghis McShamus.
There's a guy who beat Genghis Khan in Descendants, and I think it's just because like he was banging a lot of women in Ireland, and then like they became Catholic. So then, you know, he lucked out. Where it's just like, oh yeah, they kind of spread out all over the world and like wouldn't wear condoms. This is the best. I'm beating Genghis Khan in Descendants now.
I didn't even know
Like,
that
he's
was
winning.
possible.
Yeah. No, it's just that's
Genghis Khan would just like jerk off into a catapult and like pelt any village he was taking over. Just pepper that thing. Oh, you're all preggers
This
now.
is this is how pregnancy works.
Exactly. Yeah, I slept through sex ed. I'm close, right? It just lands on you. It's like the blood from the aliens in those movies. Like it just burns through your skin. And
you got to look at it from your ancestors' point of view, where they're just hoping their next generations are going to be more famous than they are. I'm kind of hoping that with Josie, and I'm sure they're all very happy that their grandson has a public access radio show in Fairfax, Virginia on this day. Yes. That will be like,
and it's talking about a radio station he was barely on half a decade ago.
But this is going to be remembered on archive.org forever.
They're like, this is what we escaped the Turks for.
The Wayback Machine is going to pull up in papasbasement.com for the rest of time, as long as the internet exists.
At that point, this is how I justify this to myself. I'm like, I'll just be like Van Gogh, like unappreciated in my own time. Except all that's going to happen is 3 weeks after I die, there won't be a credit card on file to re-up the hosting payment for In Papa's Basement.
And it'll all disappear.
It'll be deleted, and that's it.
You should back that up. You should back that up.
I do every so often, Juvenile.
Upload it to archive, man. I'm serious. Like, one of the many things that I ended up spending a lot of time doing when Josie was first born was I found random old radio shows from like the 30s, 40s, 50s that you can listen to on archive.org. So I was listening to the Danny Kaye show. You know who Danny Kaye is?
No. Was he one of my ancestors?
Yes.
He was on. You ever seen the movie White Christmas?
No, I don't think so.
All right. So Bing Crosby is famous for the song White Christmas,
yes.
right? There's a movie version where the guy who plays opposite him is Danny Kaye. He was just apparently this like all-around talent who did everything, including singing. So they just put him in a movie with Bing Crosby. They sang a little bit together, and then anything involving dancing, they were just like, Danny Kaye, do your thing. So he was kind of the comic relief. Bing was a straight man.
Was Danny Kaye black, or was this
no
white people dance then? Okay,
white people.
Ballsy.
Yeah. Nah, he was an interesting character that you don't know now, even though he was like super famous for doing impersonations in like the 30s through 50s. So he was kind of who does impersonations now? Frank Caliendo.
So I was gonna,
Caliendo's probably the guy.
He's probably the Frank Caliendo of the 1950s.
See, and this is that. So I've already concluded the kids aren't worth it, kind of. Then I was like, is fame even worth it? Because these people who are famous as hell, you're telling us about a giant A-list star, and you're
like, who?
Yeah, we're like, you goddamn madman, what are you babbling about over there?
Even Bing Crosby, like the one thing that you and I talk about with Bing is
he beat the ass out of his kids. That's all I know.
No, it's that Cole Porter song. Dogs do it, cats do it.
Oh, okay.
We did an episode about that where like they had to change the lyrics because they were racist at first.
Oh,
because it was, what was it? I think it was chinks do it, chaps do it. And don't you know that laps do it? I was like, what is a lap? I had to look that up. I was like, I didn't even know that was a slur. I didn't know that was a race, much less a slur.
I know.
Wow.
So like,
God, I miss old racism. Just the old crap. Laps.
They actually recorded it with Bing Crosby, and so you can hear like Bing Crosby dropping these racial slurs, and then they had to like rewrite it, and they tried to prevent people from like accessing the old ones. But because we have YouTube now, you can like pull up the old version of Bing Crosby like using Asian slurs. It's great.
Oh,
archive.com has led us to this. This is hilarious.
I love that, man.
That reminds me of the Black Eyed Peas song, the Let's Get It Started.
Let's get retarded.
Let's get retarded. That happened like not that long ago. Like
no, really,
like
in the grand scheme
15
of it.
years ago.
Yeah.
Like they
Was
decided.
it even that long? Was it even that long?
Was it even that long?
I would go with like
someone decided that was
07.
that was a good idea. Like, you know what? Let's go for it, guys.
Dude, it wasn't frowned on at all at the time. I will give you an interesting little detail.
Like pretty soon after that, they were like, okay, hold on, guys.
Oh, it was not long after that. Yeah, I mean, they had the Let's Get It Started version, but that, you kind of heard the Let's Get.
2004.
Are you kidding me? Oh my God, I'm hurtling toward the grave. That was like a song I remember drinking. I don't want to say in the club too, but like bars and little crap holes like that. Holy hell, that is terrifying. No, man, there was, if you remember Gary the Retard from Howard Stern, they edited together a version where you hear "Let's Get Retarded" and then him going "Yay!" during each refrain. And like that isn't played on Stern anymore or the best of. Hell, they call the guy King Gary now, for God's sake. Man. There's no more Gary the Retard. That's just, and I'm not one of those dudes who like jerks off about like, oh, the PC culture. I mean, I kind of get it. Like, I don't need to say the word retard for laughs. Like, if your retard kid feels bad, it's not good. He's specially enabled or whatever. I don't care.
Yeah. But still, I mean, you can't. It's
not that long ago.
It's not that long ago, and it feels like you go back 5-6 years, like not even 15, and you'll hear stuff like in radio and on TV or wherever, and you're like, oh my God, like I can't believe it's come this far now to where just recent memory seems like it was ridiculous, and how is anyone okay with that?
We're getting to the point now where people are legit like, I'm going to stop referring to them as trans women because we've agreed they're women. So they're just women. And I'm like, all right, look, I'm all for trans rights and stuff. I really don't care. Use the bathroom of your desire. But like, if I'm making out with a chick and I find a dick, I'll be unhappy. I'm not saying it's going to be the Begbie scene from goddamn Train Spotting where well, actually, Begbie does not beat the transsexual individual. He just kind of like is just like going "fuck" in that voice of his a million times.
Or like Ed Helms from Hangover 2, right?
Oh yes, where he gets a load blown in his ass by the tranny
in Thailand in Bangkok.
Yes. I mean, I would ask that be disclosed to me. I'd like that.
You would appreciate that. Somebody you're willing to trust enough to put yourself in that kind of situation with, like, hey, just maybe be straightforward about that.
Yes.
Like,
because maybe there is a bit of prejudice in me because I'm sorry, I don't think I would like to
flip it around real quick. If you're that person and every time you bring this up, people get weird, you're probably gonna be like, I'll tell them later.
Well, it's
we'll figure it out.
It's the equivalent of dating as a single mom in some ways, where you're like, where do I bring up the kid? Do I just lay it on the table, date one, and scare away 80% of them, or
do I put it in my Tinder profile and he's number one and I include at the bottom, hey, if you don't like kids, forget about it.
Yeah. I appreciated that because when I was on Tinder, I would just be like, like, because I had a recent, maybe 6 months ago, halfway through my singlehood.
Have dating websites and apps like changed? Like, is that like
in terms of trans
in the last like 2 or 3 years? Like, is there any like?
I mean, Tinder seems horrific. Like, it's just people promoting. Like, I almost wanted to make a page just promoting the stupid web, the website and everything.
My little brother tried to get me to sign up for one called The League.
Okay.
And it's like a thing where you have to wait in line.
You just have sex with that guy who faked being in 9/11.
No, you like sign up and do this like registration that takes, it's like sending your like tax forms.
Oh,
and, like,
okay.
they like need all this information. You have to have like a LinkedIn or something else. And then you get to like,
oh God, I think my friend, the LinkedIn based one, is how a dude Alex. My friend Alex. I'm not going to give his last name out. Why do I feel the need to give out everyone's?
I want you to know specifically who I'm talking about.
Exactly. Look, his middle name is this. He was christened on the day of our Lord thus.
But anyways, so he had asked me to like sign up for that and to help, because apparently if you get someone to refer somebody else, it like bumps you up. But anyways, like you were saying about the single moms. It's pretty much it is kind of like that. Like you have to disclose it right away, or else like at that point you're kind of lying. It's lying by omission,
I mean, I was doing
if you don't disclose,
I feel I'm with you 100%.
Penis situation.
Yeah, because then imagine showing up on that first date and like you're kind of just the entire time like, something seems a little different here. You know, it's like trying to place an accent. You're trying to place a cock.
You would hope that you would notice, but if that's not your thing, that's not your
not so much, no. And I paired with a couple, like, because I just wasn't reading profiles like any guy on Tinder. I was just like, okay, looking Asian chick, boom, yeah, pretty much, yeah. And literally, I got 3 like backs. I think the 2 days that I was dicking around on Tinder, which has gone to hell. And 2 of them were for transsexuals, yes, and 1 was a prostitute.
Nice.
And I was just like, this is so bad for my ego. And I just deleted it. And I'm like, I will just die alone. Like, that's...
Why don't these 21-year-old girls like me?
Pretty much, yeah.
What the F, dude?
Yeah, I mean, I'm graying. I'm 37. I'm overweight. What am I not bringing to the table here?
How did we get around to the training situation in the beginning? Oh...
That's the magic of the show, my ADD. And you're just like, where, why? Like, I don't know. How about this weather?
Yeah.
And then horrible
I feel like Howard had brought it up, and I'm trying to remember what it was for.
Why, Howard? Are you changing the kid's diaper right now?
It might be, yeah.
Oh my God.
Howard is literally.
Is it a 1 or a 2
right now?
You don't want to know.
Oh God, no! It's. Oh, man,
let's get socially interactive.
We
still a poll about.
I have to believe feces are discouraged in the studio. Like that's, but I didn't know.
Changing pad, man.
Okay.
Look at that thing. It's beautiful.
See, this is
when you sign in. There's like a specific line in the thing, like
no defecation,
no feces in the booth, please.
Have you seen some of the old geezers in this joint? Like, I think there's plenty of adult diapers that go on in this place.
I would hope they're continent. See, that is like a weird thing that happens when you cross into parenthood. Like, you are exposed to so much so fast that even like these little half tastes of it, you just assume other people
are like
all fine with. Yeah. Where he's just like, yeah, there were feces in this room, like exposed to air, and we're just like, no, like it's like dealing
with okay.
Yeah, like Jim Norton and his porn taste. Like Jim, who's big into tranny porn and stuff, and it's just like, what? This is literally just P and V, and you're like, yeah, Jim, but you shouldn't be watching on your smartphone in church. Like, either way, like, I'm sorry, like that's what kids do. Like, your kid, like, you can have a kid that only every 20 minutes is like just screaming like a banshee, and the parents are like, oh, you behaved so well, and everyone else is like, who's a good girl today? You're like, no, your little hellion carried on. Like, I don't care how little
your baby was a baby the whole time.
Yeah, man. How dare it?
But I will go back to just before I change this diaper. I will bring it back to, we were talking about Let's Get Retarded in the Black Eyed Peas lyrics, and how we've come so far in such a short amount of time, where it's the other way, where right now, like at the Oscars, Emma Stone, did you guys hear she got blasted for saying something about
finger blasted on stage?
Well, people were pissed because she was like, and now it's 4 dudes and like this 1 female director, like, who are nominated as best director, and a bunch of people got pissed because
she made a bukkake joke.
Well, Jordan Peele is African American, and Guillermo del Toro is Hispanic of origin, so you're really not just showing respect for how far the Academy's come in diversity.
So you're not able to just label them dudes because we have to quantify the color of their penises?
Yeah, so people were pissed at her for even trying to like call out the Academy for sex discrimination. People are like, excuse me.
We're only battling one kind of discrimination at a time, please.
Yeah.
Take your place in line, feminism. You guys are coming in after us.
Emma Stone, you're racist.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I mean, she's been unfairly branded with that crap. And look, I don't know Emma Stone in her personal life.
Have there been other like situations where that's popped up for her?
Well, what was that movie she did with Cameron Crowe?
I remember there was a movie where she was supposed to be half Asian.
Yeah, she's supposed to be half Asian.
Oh, no.
And I mean, that one's a little over the top because, like,
I like dye her hair black and
yeah, she did the old Hollywood thing where she just put tape at the corners of her eyelids. No, I think she like
Josie doesn't like that either.
Yeah,
oh man,
I don't think she did much of anything to not look like. Oh, are you holding your nose? Did she really duke her brains out?
Oh man, she wasn't just laughing just cause.
Oh God,
Daddy wasn't just making.
I'm surprised it didn't get to the other side of the studio.
Oh God, why?
No.
Why is
you agreed to this? When I agreed to come on today, I was like, I'm bringing a baby.
Yeah, I just pictured like a baby asleep for 2 hours. I didn't realize how stupidly
We're gonna
naive
give that
I
baby
was.
some whiskey so it would go to sleep.
Yeah, exactly. Just rub it on the gums. You're not trying to get it hung over. Oh God, where the hell were we? I'm now.
I have to talk through my shirt, by the way.
Oh
for the rest of
God. You now look like those horrible ghetto like screen prints of Marilyn Monroe, where she has she's like holding the guns and is heavily inked
with the blood like bandana mask on. Yeah.
Is there anything trashier than that? Is there anything trashier than that? You could film your mom getting double teamed by like Quincy Jones and MC Hammer. I don't know why I picked those guys other than they're black. Yeah, exactly. I'm a piece of garbage. And that's 1,000 times classier than that stuff. Oh, you are. Oh God, what you are doing right now? Your eyes are tearing up like you just bit into an onion like an apple. I'm really.
Oh man, I completely see what you're saying. I don't know if I felt as strongly as you did about the, like, you just change your baby in here. There's like feces like lurking. There are like molecules floating around.
Oh, you're gulping in mouthfuls
and
of it right
before,
now.
like, I was like, man, you need to calm down, John.
No,
you're right.
No, yeah,
this is
I've got a lot of time. Smell the meat through the Ziploc, so we're fine. We're fine. You can just wave that in my face. Just throw it at me like you're playing a game of cornhole.
Yeah, just don't play hacky sack with that, please.
Oh God. So this is why, especially because I think had a career taken off for this man, and I was getting to live the life of a Don Geronimo, where it's like, here's $3 million a year, coming to work 4 hours a day, and make the best dick jokes. Just do them for your dad's memory, kiddo. Like, sure, I would have
make the old man proud.
Yeah, I would have probably, I think, gone the family route because you have the stable career and that kind of stuff. But I believe you're going to notice a lot of birth rate drop off because no one has careers anymore. Very few people. It's getting very top heavy. Let's put it that way.
And anyone who has a career, a lot of times, unless you're working finance or you're like a lawyer or something, a lot of times you have to finance your career with something else that's not a career, some labor-y kind of job.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And so people just can't take their, I'm sorry, the kid is mildly distracted. I can't.
Josie does not approve.
No, give me your kid. She likes me. I'll just bounce her on my knee.
She literally, we came in earlier. As soon as John started talking, said anything, she was like locked down on me, like a trance. It was weird.
You got to treat kids like you do a cat. You kind of like don't let them know that you want their attention, but you kind of want it. You talk around them. Oh, look, it's baby. Hi, Josie.
Look, now she's looking.
Oh my God, am I actually getting your kid? Okay, cool. Oh, no. Oh, okay.
Like coming around. I gotta like walk around to keep home.
Oh, you're walking to.
Where's the camera? I'll hold her up to the camera.
Camera's right in the corner.
Yeah, like where's the? Can I see?
Sure. Give me 1 second.
Frame the rule of thirds, man.
There you go. That is just a baby right there.
Baby cam.
Look at that baby. Oh my God, I didn't turn down the. Wow. Your baby looks like little mini Putin. Like I don't know why she's a Putin-esque face, but she does.
We're more of the opinion she's Jeff Sessions.
Oh no,
she wants to crush you.
Sorry,
don't you put those ears on her? No, she looks like Putin in his latest interview.
She's a little Mr. Magoo.
Yeah.
All babies kind of look alike.
Mm.
Wow. Oh God! All right, Howard, are you able to participate in the Bruno Mars segment, or do we have to just?
Yeah, no, I think it's a good segue from like how offended people are that we are going to talk about the latest controversy over Bruno Mars Grammy win.
You want to helm this, or do I have to play the dummies clip, or what?
I don't know, man. This is your show. I feel like you should introduce it, because why did this even catch your attention?
Okay, so because I live on Twitter, that's all. Twitter's my everything. If I don't get favorites and retweets, I want to die. And
so worth it.
It's how I keep up with the youth. So I want to say 2 days ago, Bruno Mars started getting traction because someone by the handle of Saren, I guess maybe short for Serena, _sensei, called Bruno Mars out for cultural appropriation, stating he's to the effect. We'll play the clip, a little bit of it, but stating Bruno Mars is not black, yet he won a Grammy for performing what is in essence, in some way, like black music, and claiming this was cultural appropriation.
And I'm sure she would tell you that, you know, like every rock musician and everybody else. I mean, like, where does that stop? Like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. Like, there are like elements of what she's saying that I kind of do agree with, but I feel like she's so far out there that I feel like what extreme would satisfy, you know, would just be like only black people are allowed to do music inspired by.
Yeah. Do you want to hear a bit of her enlightened clip? Because if you weren't racist, you will be after this. Like, or you'll at least sound like one.
I don't completely disagree with her, by the way.
I don't either, but I also want to say horrible things within 10 seconds, like misogynist, racist, just everything. She brings out the worst in me.
Yes, Bruno Mars 100% is a cultural appropriator. He is racially ambiguous. He is not black at all, and he plays up his racial ambiguity to be able to do what Jameer says, cross genres and go into different places. And you guys are bringing up Michael Jackson. Number one, me personally, like, I don't even think that Michael Jackson now in this day and age will be able to get to the point that he got to previously.
Facts.
And a huge part of that is because he
First of all,
that
if you have any hatred in your heart and you just hear that voice going facts in the background,
What do you think?
Your blood pressure jumped a little. First of all, I mean, if you want to talk racial ambiguity as a negative and then bring up Michael Jackson, you got some Stugats on you, bitch. But we can keep going a little bit.
No, like, she's terrible. Like, this is like a leftist version to me of Fox BS, like Fox News BS.
Yes.
This is the reverse of it, because like a simple wiki search where you told me we wanted to talk about this today. I looked up Bruno Mars's production team. I think they're called the trio of them. It's Shampoo, Press and Curl is the name of his production team. He is one third of it, and the other 2/3 of it, they're brothers. So he collaborates with two black guys who are just like, hey man, this would be really awesome to sell more records with if we put a dude who's half Asian on the cover and marketed it in Asia. I think that's a genius marketing tactic that was like fully informed by 2 out of 3 of the members of this group who are also like, who happen to be black. On the flip side, you have Childish Gambino. I looked up some of the other Grammy nominees for Album of the Year.
Is she bitching just because he won Album of the Year? I don't.
She's basically mad, I think, because Beyonce's never won, and now Bruno Mars has an Album of the Year. So Beyonce's been nominated, never won. Kanye had his whole blow up on Taylor Swift.
What is the childish take? Like, I'm sorry, Beyonce's good, but to think she's some sort of generational.
But everybody's like, oh, it's racist. It's racist, and this is just more proof of it.
This is like an extension of the like a couple years ago when Macklemore won Hip Hop Album of the Year, and it was the same year that
I forgot that happened.
That what's it called? Kendrick Lamar had come out with his album, and that was considered like one of the like, this is a like hip hop renaissance, like
touchstone.
Like this album is like, you know, this was special.
Acceptance speech even said, Kendrick, this is your award.
Yeah, and like, he apologized like in the moment. Everyone knew who should have won that. So I feel like that's extended.
That's all I ask for as a white man, the right to determine which black deserves it. That's all I.
But it's just like, she didn't even know who did what, because 2 out of 3 guys who produced Bruno Mars's album are black. And then if you look at Childish Gambino, also nominated for Album of the Year, it was co-produced by a Swedish guy who works for Rockefeller and Jay-Z. So you're talking 2 of the 3 black acts that were nominated that did not win depend on a Swedish guy for production. And you're talking about the album that actually won had 2 black guys producing it. This is the most ignorant thing anybody's ever said. Like, that's how stupid it is.
I don't know if it's the most ignorant thing anyone said.
Yeah,
but it's
you were tending to the kid, but I've said some shit this episode.
But there's so many holes in what she's saying.
Well, first of all, her
deal in
goddamn handle
absolutes.
has sensei in it.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that senseis were from Africa.
I think it's cultural appropriation to deem oneself a sensei.
Exactly. How dare she? Whatever rat culture Splinter's from. That's where senseis originally are from. But like, on one hand, she's contending that music formulated by black people, generated by black people, really should only be, unless I'm missing something, should kind of only be performed by black people, or is she saying only black people should get famous for it?
I think what she's saying is that black people who have kind of innovated this genre of music, as I'm sure she would say other types of music where that's happened, like the black artists in that realm won't get the necessary credit. But as soon as somebody else who comes along does the exact same thing and isn't black, all of a sudden this is the end all.
I don't disagree with that.
And I think that's an element of what she's
that's her
saying.
point, I don't disagree with it.
There's no way you can win with people of her description of the situation, because like I would just challenge her to think a little further of like when you actually have black artists who are filling stadiums, most of the people whose seats, like whose asses are in seats, are white.
Yeah.
So you got Kanye touring the country telling like a bunch of white kids, oh, gold digger's your chance to use the N-word.
Yeah.
And then like the 10 black people who are there like, no, I didn't sign up for this.
Yeah.
Like, why am I still a Kanye fan if I gotta sit in a stadium full of white kids using the N-word?
And
like,
you know
why am I here?
And at the end of the day, you're mad at this is a thing that I have an issue with what she said. You're mad at Bruno Mars, but he's not really the one you're mad at. You're the one, like, you're taking his name kind of in vain here and like taking a big dump on this dude's accomplishment. I'm sure that he's worked hard and he's had to overcome a lot in his life to get to that point. You shouldn't be mad at the Grammys. The Grammys are the one that chose the album of the year. It's not what's his name, Bruno Mars's fault.
Yeah.
He's going to continue to do what he does.
But think
it's
about
not
how
Macklemore's fault that he's a goofy white dude who's a rapper.
Yeah.
It's the Grammys' fault for giving him rap album of the year. Like,
think about it. On one hand, she wants black artists to get noticed for black music, but on the other hand, the logic is the Grammys, which are built and I guess still like mainly comprised of white people.
Yeah,
that needs to get flushed out and injected with a lot of, like black blood.
Yeah, like that's the entity that you're supposed to be upset with. They're the ones that are making the decision, not Bruno Mars. And that's, you're right. Yeah. And you have an institution, but like you're trying to appropriate someone else's
culture. Like, exactly. This is, if the Grammys are old white people, well, guess what? That's old white person culture.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. Trying to get the damn Soul Train awards or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say, but it's such a slippery slope. Like, this is a person who'd be like, we need more black voices in Hollywood. Really? Not to be offensive, Howard, but like a city built and expertly run, I might add, by the Jews. And, I don't know.
And the Iranians.
Exactly. I don't know how many black people invented the camera. I don't know who invented the camera. I'm kind of rolling the racial dice on that one. Gonna go with the Chinaman. I don't know. But again, you can't have your cake and eat it too. Are we just going to are we going to take salmon out of sushi next? Because that's because what the Swedes or whatever the hell, who the hell sold salmon to the Japanese in like the 80s? And we just act like that's part of sushi. And it's like, no, like I think the people
sustainable fish,
the people of Norway in the 80s just had a million extra tons of salmon, and we're like, we gotta convince those damn fish eaters that this is in
this
their
stuff
best
is
interest.
the best.
Yeah. And I mean, that's just America, and I get it. Like, it's crappy when stuff gets taken from black people because there's a bit of a history regarding that. But that's America, dude. That's America. We all just steal each other's crap. Like, as much as whiteys stole rock and roll from black people, like, James Brown has come out and said, like, I just stole Elvis's moves. Like, he was like, black artists, people in that world are like usually pretty open about, like, yeah, I steal from white people, they steal from me. It happens. That's just
kind of like an exchange.
It's a cross-pollination. Yeah, that's just America. I don't know how else to put it. And yes, there's horrible racial baggage to some of that, but you can also choose to see things in a bit of a more positive light, which is really what we're all about on this show. Framing things positive.
Obviously. But yeah, with her, like, there's, again, anyone who deals in only absolutes, and I mean, she's going to feel the way she feels. There's nothing we can do to change that. But if you deal in only absolutes, you're going to spend a lot of your time just really upset with life, man. Like, that's such a difficult way to just approach anything, let alone like music awards, anything. You know what I mean? Like
That's how you get noticed on the internet now. Is you have to have a strong take that pisses people off. Because if you're just like, I'm going to take a moderate, reasonable approach to solving society's problems, everybody's like, boring, next.
But then you have to maintain that level for everything else you do, or else you're a phony. Just like Tommy Lahren when she said that she's like pro-choice.
Yes.
You remember that? The conservatives couldn't wait to kick her to the curb about like on The Blaze and all these other like phony news networks that they had created surrounding weird people sitting in front of their desktop cameras. They're like, no, you've got to be as extreme on immigration and all this other stuff as you are on with being pro-choice and pro-life. Like you can't show any moderation at all. And got her chopped down. I think she's bounced back a little bit.
So I should caption this YouTube video like host wishes he could own uppity mammy. Like,
yes.
Okay. I could do that. That's fine.
But yeah, man, I don't know. That's another thing of that from that video that just like that bothers me. You know what? People like that are necessary. You're supposed to have people like that in order to kind of show you the boundaries of where everyone else kind of lives and operates. Like
free speech.
She's on one end, this, racist assholes are on the other end, and everyone else kind of lives right in the
happy medium.
Yeah. A happy medium.
Yeah. Oh god.
Us and Josie. She's been pretty good.
Josie's calmed down a bit. Yeah. She's a big fan of Tommy Lahren.
Oh, she perked up. She kind of looks like Tommy Lahren a little bit.
Oh man.
Oh no.
I wish I wanted to hate bang that broad more. Not that I wouldn't. Wouldn't a heartbeat.
She's attractive, man. That's the only reason.
Attractive enough. I don't think she's like some stone cold 10.
She's pretty hot. I'm not fantasizing about her or anything. I don't have like a picture of her on my
I wish I had
desktop
some sort of like wanting like just some hate Jack fetishization of her, but like nothing.
She's hot enough to where like you have a certain level of hotativity, you have that a certain amount of charisma, you're able to put your face in front of a mic and speak coherently. Yeah, see?
Yeah.
Just like that, right on cue. She has that very simple balance, that formula. And now she's famous. We talk about her on podcast, and she's on Fox News. And
nasty.
I know that there's you can find videos on YouTube of people walking up to her. I don't know if I think this is rude or not, but
FUB.
You pretty much they're like, "Hey Tommy, I'm a huge fan," and she's like, "Oh really? Thanks." And they're like, "Nah, just kidding, you racist bitch." Yeah,
yeah, that's like its own like little baby genre. That's so
it
funny.
really is.
I've seen a bunch of videos like that.
Okay.
When are you going to be famous enough for people to do that to you, John?
Didn't you hear about my Van Gogh plan? It's going to be 10 to 20 years after death. People will bring bottles of cough syrup to my grave and bottles of Astroglide and spray them both across my non-denominational tombstone. We can head out now if you want. I can rant about healthcare. I had a nice little time with that, but we can just head out. Maybe we could while we're ahead with baby. AJ, is there anything you wanted to say? Are you happy with the show? Are you sad?
I thought this was a sports show.
Is
that's the only thing I can talk about. Your sports.
Kirk Cousins, am I right?
Yeah, am I right?
Future Viking.
Oh man,
go.
He just culturally appropriated Teddy Bridgewater's job.
There you go. Yeah, displaced Bridgewater like we did the Indians.
Bridgewater in New York.
Is that confirmed?
The Jets.
Is that confirmed?
Pretty much, I believe. Yeah.
Oh wow.
It's kind of like wink, wink, nudge, nudge, unofficial.
They went from
tampering.
Shitty Geno Smith to like a slightly better upgrade.
Man, he's better than that.
He's unproven. God, we really are talking sports now.
Yeah, we're talking.
At least we're an hour in. That
Richard Sherman contract.
What a dummy. What a dummy. That guy tried to negotiate his own deal. I'm smarter than these NFL agents. Watch this.
I'm sorry. Like, it's that same thing when you are your own lawyer. What are they?
Or you're like your own electrician. Like, this did not go well.
Yeah. Literally the one thing I refuse to do. And I'm a fix-it guy, but I'm like,
there are certain things you just like. My dad's the same way. My parents' house, my dad literally by hand added an extension to their house, a 3-story, like essentially added a townhouse to my parents' house.
Yeah,
himself. He had to get someone to come in and pour the concrete, and then he had to come in, have somebody come in and do the electricity. Everything else he had done himself. Even that guy could at least say, you know what? I should probably lay off of this
There's
one
no
thing.
second chances on that one.
And Sherman couldn't say that about working his contract.
Oh no, Richard Sherman. As we talked about this before the show. If you've ever debated is Richard Sherman intelligent or not, look at the terms of that contract he got with San Francisco.
Man,
and you've got your answer.
And the thing that sucks, and nothing sucks for like millionaire football players, but the thing that sucks is that other guys that age, like other teams look at that deal and say, hey, other guy that's in the similar bracket of Richard Sherman, we're going to give you this deal because that's what Richard Sherman asked for. And he was an awesome, unbelievable player. So that's what we're going to offer you.
Here's
or probably less.
30,000 guaranteed and 64 million in incentives.
Yeah. And a lot of gum. And that's all you get.
All right. Josie's starting to pipe up again. So I figure we should get the hell.
Ow.
Get the hell. Oh, did she bite you?
No.
Is she getting violent?
She swings her fists a lot. So
oh my God.
Domestic violence starts early.
You didn't tell me she's part Irish. All right, everyone. That was Papa's Basement. Thank you if you made it this far. Thank you very much. Follow the show. Get in touch with us. We always like listener feedback at Papa's Basement, in Papa's Basement at gmail.com. If you want to email us for advertising or putting the show on your website or just mentioning us, letting me know it matter. Yeah. I'm not going to have a child to carry on my legacy, but if someone could provide a backlink or two, it's a good runner-up. AJ,
yes.
Anything you want to plug, man? Thank you for coming in studio.
No, man. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
At AJ Itaye.
Yeah, that's my long name. I can't even spell it.
On Twitter.
Yeah.
It's hard. Josie can do it, though. She's a genius.
I'll retweet something.
We'll tweet you out a million times over. Thanks. You could be like the one guy I follow on Snapchat. Any guy who seriously uses Snapchat, like, not to sound enlightened, but I'm just like, you're gay. Like, you do know that, right? I'm like, men use Instagram. Like, I have a Snapchat account for pretty much one person to be able to send nudity to me. Otherwise, I delete that damn thing. That's it.
Yeah,
that's it.
It's completely redundant now. There's no separate purpose for it.
Yeah. And I'm allowed to save the photos. I'm like, why are we doing this? Why do you make me jump through these hoops? I hate this stupid app. Just text me the photos.
Take a screenshot or you're going to get cut off, man.
Oh, no. I'll ask ahead of time. I'm like, and she's like, it's fine. So I'm like, then what is the point? Then why are we doing this dance? It's idiots. Howard.
At Basement Howard is my Twitter account for this show. So
what's Josie's? You got anything?
Working on it.
Nice. Tweet as the baby. You could be a sensation.
420 lit baby.
Nice. Wow, that baby goes hard. All right. Yeah, again,
she's got a pyramid scheme going on her page right now.
420 lit baby. Look at you. What's she doing right now?
She's falling asleep.
Oh,
so high.
Great timing.
Finally, I know.
So big.
Couldn't use her sleeping during the show. No.
Yeah. Thanks, Josie. You're the best. All right. Till next one. We're out of here.
We're home free. School's out, baby.
Good show.
Nothing to talk about, nothing to critique. Great show, great guests tomorrow. You go home, have a glass of wine, whack off. I'll see you tomorrow.
That's the post-show critique?
Yeah, you're the best.
It's my time to go. I successfully